Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights has opened an investigation to the Boise State University, along with 44 other colleges and universities, for illegal discrimination. I'd also like to note that the Student Connections Support Center, which is the predecessor of the Gender Equity and other DEI offices, lists as one of its key functions helping students understanding their identities and finding supportive communities. It also notes that it serves all students of sexual orientations, racial and ethnic identities, gender identities, cultural identities, and abilities. You also note that Boise State and the University of Idaho, despite the prohibitions, still provide LGBTQAI+ group counseling sessions in order to circumnavigate the prohibition on diversity training, helping students with transitioning or coming out. I'd also like to put particular attention to Boise State's Office of Community Engagement and Belonging, in particular its Institute for Inclusive and Transformative Scholarship, which states as its mission to create and nurture a vibrant, inclusive community by working to increase representation and success for those who have been historically marginalized and minoritized in their discipline. It states as its mission to be an agent of change on the college and university campus and be a model for inclusive and transformative scholarship. Senators, these examples fly into the front of what the State Board of Education did in December. These things need to be codified and teeth brought behind these prohibitions in order to purge the subversive and pernicious ideology from our college campuses and universities once and for all. Thank you. I'd be happy to yield for any questions.
Senator Ruckty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lair, this pernicious ideology that you refer to, I want to make sure I understand where that line between pernicious and something you support lies. University of Idaho, in this document we received in this folder. I'm not sure if you provided that to us or somebody else. But University of Idaho says it's a statement of diversity and inclusivity, commitment to diversity and inclusivity is the section I'm going to read from. Unconditionally, they have an earnest commitment to diversity and inclusivity incorporates the following. In other words, this is how they define it. Unconditionally rejecting every form of bigotry, discrimination, hateful rhetoric, and hateful action. Do you consider that to be pernicious ideology?
Mr. Lair.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Ruckty, I'd like to point to the University of Idaho's Writing Center's anti-racism statement that it issued a few years ago back prior to the State Board of Education's decision.
Well, just a second. That's not my question.
It gets to the answer, right?
Mr. Chairman.
Let's go through the chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Right. Mr. Lair, answer the question if you'd like. If you don't want to answer it, that's fine too.
Mr. Chairman, what I'm referring to will answer the question. Do I have permission to read from this?
You can briefly answer the question.
Mr. Chair, Senator Ruckty, the notion of critical theory is a well-understood thing within academia. It's a ideology that believes in the distinction between oppressed class and oppressors. It speaks about power structures, and its sole goal is to create agents of social change in order to deconstruct these systems of oppression. It is inherently political and divisive, and it is my belief that the core function of the university should be directed towards forming educators, engineers, teachers, and lawyers, and not political activists.
Mr. Chairman.
One more, Senator Ruckty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Lair. So that was not an answer to my question. The question was, do you consider this statement to be pernicious ideology under your definition? Unconditionally rejecting every form of bigotry, discrimination, hateful rhetoric, and hateful action.
And Mr. Lair, if we could take the temperature down just a little bit. Answer the question.
Chairman, Senator Ruckty, I would believe the spirit of that, this was a different time. I have the unique, experience of having gone to a public land-grant university in the past 10 years, and I can tell you that the spirit of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, in which that language was kind of molded, is no longer the spirit that's currently on our colleges and universities. I'm sure you're familiar with the term a dog whistle, and why they speak in the same kind of liberal toleration and these notions of the Civil Rights Act and our founding fathers' principles, and it actually goes beyond a lot more to the basis of critical theory.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, no further questions, but I am familiar with dog whistles, and I'm seeing a lot of them in this legislation.
Kendall Schauber.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee, for your time.